Hi, it's Mike Ferry, and welcome to Mike Ferry TV, the week of August the 6th. Boy, the dog days of August. Summer is tough. Most of the country, U.S. and Canada, it's warm weather, a lot of vacations, a lot of holidays, a lot of buyers and sellers putting off until September. However, even with buyers and sellers waiting till September, there's still an enormous amount of business available to you. If you're willing to go find it, we're going to help you find it today. We started last week with the skills of a great listing agent. I want to continue that today. And I want to start by saying that the second skill, I don't care what anybody tells you about the fact that you don't have to talk to people. They are not telling the truth to a person that wants to be highly productive. Now, yeah, you don't have to talk to people if you want to do 2 or 3 deals a year. You don't have to. You know, you're gonna by mistake fall into a couple deals, okay? But if you have the ability, the desire, the ambition to start producing at a much higher level, whether it be 10 deals a year or 30 or 50 or 100, you got to talk to people. So skill number 2 is the skill of prospecting. Write down the word prospecting. During the tour I did in May and June, I said to the audience, write down the word prospecting and then take your pen and cross it off. And they all said, what a relief. You mean you don't have to prospect anymore? I said, no, write down next to the word prospecting the words lead generation. 4 or 5 years ago, I finally said, you know what? I talk about prospecting every day, and I know that it drives people crazy, but it is the answer to the problem of productivity. Talking to people. That's prospecting. Every business does it. Every organization that has a product or service to sell, they're involved in conversations. Now, yeah, they may get the lead online, but they got to talk to the person once they get the lead online. Oh, yeah, I'm just holding an open house. You have to talk to the people. You don't just go like this to them when they walk in the door. You don't hand them a sheet of paper describing the house. You have to be involved in conversations. But then I said in the tour, cross out the word lead generation. And then write the third word, the word conversations. Because the truth is, our ability to converse with people that we know and don't know is the name of the game. You've seen me do this for years. There's only 2 kinds of people in the world today. On my left hand are the people that I know. On my right hand, the people I don't know. Generally speaking, which group is larger? Hello. Now, watch. If I won't talk to the ones I know and I won't talk to the ones I don't know, in essence, aren't you out of business? Now you can say, well, Mr. Technology is going to save me. Mr. Technology is going to do nothing for a person that will not talk to people. Because I don't care how you do it, they're not buying and selling homes online. You can't have surgery online. You can't fly online without the airplane. You can't go to court online. Now, yes, your accountant can do your books online, but then he's going to ask you questions to make sure that the books are proper. The world operates with technology. Sales operates with conversations with people. So I've written down 6 points regarding prospecting, lead generation, and conversations, because all of us can have normal conversations with people during the tour. And at the retreat a couple weeks ago, I said, everybody just say to the person next to you, how are you and where do you live? And I asked everybody in the audience, thousands of people at the retreat, how are you, where do you live? And they did it. And then after about 20 seconds, I had to stop them from talking because they were all engaged in conversations. The world talks about real estate all the time. Get involved in conversations, engage people in conversations. Conversations about real estate will come up and you're going to have a prospect, a lead, and you're going to go ahead then and make a listing presentation. Okay, here's point number 1. I want you to really look at carefully. Strengthen the link. Okay, the link between prospecting and achieving the listing and money goals you've set to keep yourself on track. Too often that link is broken by a distraction, by a person. You're on the phone, you're talking to some people about listing property, somebody walks by and waves, you get distracted, all of a sudden you forgot your conversation, a potential lead disappears. You got to strengthen that link. That link has to be strong. Watch, my ability to converse and talk to people is in direct correlation to the ability to list property and do a lot of transactions. Our biggest challenge in real estate today And I don't know why the industry is afraid to talk about it. I don't know why the big franchises won't talk about it. The big companies won't talk about it. Brokers don't want to talk about it. We keep hiring people that have no sales experience and expect to give them a license, a piece of paper, and expect them to go out and know how to sell. Folks, that is ludicrous at best. It makes no sense. Selling is a trained business, a trained skill. It's a trained profession. We spent the last 43 years trying to train people how to sell. And if you've been to our retreats and our workshops and programs, the results are incredible. One of our best customers up in Utah, Century 21 Everest, they gave me a report. We have like 50 people from that company, maybe it's 55, in our coaching today. Now watch this. When they started with us, they were averaging 12 deals per year. Today, they're averaging 26. The link between productivity and talking to people has been strengthened. Century 21 Corporation put up on a giant screen for 3 years in a row the incredible results people in that company have gotten from being involved in my coaching. Watch, the link between the skill of talking to people and the results we get, they're incredible. Strengthen the link. I wrote down the second thought. We have to know where our business comes from before we can decide where to get business from. Source your business so you can duplicate it. Okay, so let's take, here we are now, August the 6th, 2018. Let's take every transaction, listing taken, okay, or buyer-controlled sale from January through August 1st. Name, address, and then where did you get that deal from? Come from a past client? Was it a repeat customer? Center of influence referral? Referral from another great agent you met through the Mike Ferry organization? Was it a buy owner that you saw and you stopped and talked to him and they chose to list with you? Were you sitting in an open house and somebody walked in and said, I want to buy a house? Source your business, because if you don't source it, you can't duplicate it. See, sourcing is the hardest part of what we do because we get excited when we get a prospect that wants to sign a contract, and then we don't write down the source, and then 30, 60 days later when it's closing, we're so excited to find the next one, we forget what the source was. If you can source, you can duplicate. If you can source, you can duplicate. If you can't source, it's really hard to duplicate. Here's the third thought I want you to write down. The hardest call or contact we make many times is the first call of the day. All right, so we'll say to you, come in the office early, do your role-playing practice, get your scripts down, whatever types of scripts you're working on, get familiar, get comfortable, get in motion, and then whether you're going to go out and knock on a door to a past client, center of influence, bind or expired, just listed, just sold, or you're going to call them, you put your headset on, that first call is many times the hardest. So here's our suggestion. Call 3 or 4 people from your database. Why? Because they like you. They're going to be nice to you. They're going to be receptive. They're going to say, how are you? And you're going to say, fine. And you're going to have a jovial conversation. Get a couple of those types of calls in your system to create the momentum to do your job. Fourth thought I wrote down. Most distractions we have during prospecting are self-imposed. Keep your prospecting area clear. Keep your mind clear. Put up your prospecting signs so people don't interrupt you. This is a powerful computer. It's said to be the most powerful computer ever. More powerful than anything we've made so far through technology. It also is a computer that can screw up our lives because it can distract us. You're sitting there, you're calling somebody, and all of a sudden, your mind goes, oh my gosh, gee, did I turn the lights off in the bathroom before I left the home? Now, what does that have to do with that prospecting call? Nothing. But the mind is a major distraction. Our distractions are self-imposed. Discover your distractions to discover how to solve the problem. Letter E, as we stated earlier, everything in prospecting has to do with numbers. Numbers, 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 numbers. To get the listings you want, you have to honestly look at your numbers every day. All right, so today is August the 6th. It's Monday. How many people did you talk to on Friday? How many people did you talk to on Thursday? If you're writing down 1 or 0 on a regular basis, what are the odds of you doing a lot of business? And the answer is minimal at best, okay? And the last point I wrote down, it's a quote, I can't let somebody else's response to my prospecting, whether it's somebody I'm talking to or another agent in my office, determine what my future listing income is going to be. One of the panelists at the retreat a couple weeks ago made a statement that I thought was great. Every time I'm being told no by somebody, I'm excited because I know I'm one step closer to a yes. So is that person that says, no, don't bother me, I'm not interested in selling, leave me alone or hanging up, is that going to keep me from achieving my goal? Folks, I've been doing this for 43 years. I've spoken to millions of people. Some of the audiences, like the retreat, are unbelievably receptive. Some of the audiences are not receptive at all. I am not going to let their response determine how I'm going to accomplish the goals I've set. My goal is to help you become more productive. That's my primary goal. I'm not going to let that person's response interrupt my job in helping you become more productive. I'm not going to let anybody's response to what I do. Last week, I mentioned to you IR30, and we've had an unbelievable response to IR30. Watch. If you went to the retreat, you can watch the entire retreat during the month of August. It's going to be streamed for you. You just go online, fill out the form, and you can watch as much or as little as you want to watch throughout the entire month of August of the entire retreat. If you were there, it's $100 to watch it again. If you weren't there, it's $195. We have people subscribing. It's overwhelming how many people have subscribed in the first couple of weeks. We want you to be there next year, so let's do this. Let's learn to prospect. Let's learn to take listings so we can be at Mike Ferry's future events. Talk to you next week. Have a great week. Thank you.